everybody, it's time for my favorites of the month, some of my most loved beauty products, and by the way, I got a haircut. It's got some like long layers in it, but just a lot simpler cut than what I was dealing with before. So yeah, something new there. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm gonna jump into these favorites. And the first one I'm gonna talk about is something I mentioned in my Sonia Kashuk video, but it is this all covered up concealer. I have it in the shade Ivory. And if you're interested in a lot more Sonia Kashuk related information, I did that brand guide video here recently. This concealer is so creamy, and I've been using it a lot on my under eye area. I think it's really good coverage. It reminds me so much of the texture of Benefit Erase Paste, so if you like a really creamy concealer, or if you're extra dry on the under eyes, this works so nicely. But I gotta say, I do feel the need to set that, and the thing that I've been setting it with is actually something from a different Sonia Kashuk concealer thing. It's the Hidden Agenda concealer palette, and it comes with the most fabulous little setting powder. But it is just a really super pigmented, creamy powder. And I really love using it on top of this concealer because I think this totally needs something to kind of even out the texture, and at least on my skin make it a little less tacky. But I'll use these concealers as well, especially this shade. If I want something a little lighter, I can practically use it as a highlight type shade. These are a little less rich and creamy compared to this, but I'm liking all of these concealers so much from Sonia Kashuk. I think if you're wanting some really good coverage but not wanting to spend a fortune, these are great, but I totally wish that like this concealer could have somewhere attached to it like this little setting powder, because I think it would make an awesome product. Another thing that I'm loving as a powder, just for setting foundation or wearing it on its own for just a quick look, like paired with concealer, is the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation, but it's the Illumination version. I have this in light, and I've been comparing it to, you know, the regular version of this powder foundation, and I'm feeling like this is so much more like rich in texture, more creamy, more pigmented. I feel like it kind of adheres to the skin a little bit more, whereas the other one feels like a little more dry and powdery. I still think they're both like good coverage powders, but this just offers that little something extra to the skin, makes my skin look a little less dry when I've got it on. And I know with the word illumination in there, that makes some people freak out a little bit, but I don't notice like a bunch of shimmer in this powder. I think it just leaves a little healthier, fresher look on my face for being a powder. It does remind me quite a bit actually of the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation, so I love that too, but just here recently this is the one I've been using the most and really enjoying that. Now sometimes when I'm doing my makeup, especially with a baby now, it's like I won't always do it in this room. Sometimes I'll run upstairs and like grab a few things and do it wherever else in the house it's convenient. And so when I'm gathering up brushes, I tend to grab for ones that I think can multitask for me a bit more. And one that I'm really loving for that reason is the Real Techniques blush brush. I can get away with using this for so many different things. This can be face powder, this can be bronzer, blush, highlight, and I think what makes it so versatile is the cut. You can see here it's way tapered down the sides, so if you want to like cover a larger portion of your face at one time, like maybe for face powder and stuff, you can just kind of lay it flat and work the side of the brush. But if I want to contour and maybe get a more precise area, I'll use more just the tip of the brush, and same goes for like highlight or blush. And it's just a really nice size for me. This would be a little bit smaller than a lot of my powder brushes, but just a little bigger than different blush brushes. So if I've got this can pretty much multitask and take care of so many different, you know, steps on the face. The only thing that I don't love so much about this is that the base is so wide. So sometimes when you're putting this in a little cup or, you know, whatever little container alongside other brushes, it really takes up a lot more space than I think it needs to because the base of the brush is so wide. But you could also stand it up somewhere for decoration if you wanted to. And that one I've had in my collection for a while, but another really important, like newer brush find for me is this e.l.f. Crease brush. And they only just recently added this to their studio line, and you might glance at it and say, oh, it's just a crease brush, what's the big idea? But actually this is quite a bit smaller than a lot of crease brushes I have. If you look at it here up close, you can see it's got a nice, you know, taper to the bristles down the side. You can really work the side of the brush or just the tip of the brush. And so for applying shadow to your crease, if you feel like a lot of your crease brushes are way too big, this will give you some more control there. But the reason I really like this is because it's striking me as something very similar to a brush that I've never thought I had like a duplicate brush for. And it's the Sigma Precision E3 B36. This is the little wispy brush, white wispy brush that I'll use so much right up here, like above the crease. And when you compare these two size-wise, they're actually not that far off, especially if you get a good look at them like head on at the tip. So I've also found that this e.l.f. crease brush is really great for that super duper light application right above the crease. So a transition shade or whatever kind of color you want to sort of rise above the eye, this can do it really well also. So if you've been looking for a cheaper option compared to the Sigma one, this one is $3. And I'm not saying it's an exact dupe for this brush, but it's really about as close as it gets in my collection. I've got a ton of different brushes, but this one's working really well for me. A couple of things that I would highly recommend looking into are the Fierce Effects eyeshadows. Actually, this is just one product. They're sold in groups of 2 for, I think it's just $5 at Walmart. And anybody who's a fan of the L'Oreal Infallible shadows can tell that these are really, really close to that packaging. It's kind of that pressed pigment style of eyeshadow. The duo that I'm holding up here is Soft and Sultry, and so one is a golden shade and one is kind of a mint or like a soft sage green type color. And the way they're packaged, it's the exact same thing as the L'Oreal Infallibles. You've got that little stopper there that you don't want to throw away, and then here's your shadow. And I am wearing this gold actually today all over the lid for that nice shimmery pop, and then I mixed in some other matte shadows. The other stuff I'm wearing is from this cool palette from Pure Minerals, and it's the Soul Mattes. My buddy Kristen Game on here sent this to me totally by surprise, and I love it so much. It's those berry and mauve type mattes, and they look so pretty with a gold, don't you think? So anyway, just tried that for the first time today and love it. But these hard candy duos here I think are just an awesome deal if you want that fabulous pigmentation that you've come to know and love from the L'Oreal Infallible shadows. I mean, those are gonna run you around $8 a pop, you know, just for one. And so this is the only color combo that I've tried from this hard candy line, is the Soft and Sultry with the green and the kind of bronzy gold. But it's definitely something I'm gonna look into more and buy some more of. And for lips, I have a couple things I want to mention as well. One of them is this MAC Viva Glam lip palette. Showed this in the haul video with some MAC and Ulta stuff, and I am enjoying this so much, especially when I find that I've got a little extra time to work on my face. This gives me so many fun color combinations. I can get a great reddish lip with this. I can get kind of a mauve, more neutral lip, a great berry toned lip as well. So if you're not familiar with the way this is laid out, it's Viva Glam 1, 2, and 3 here, and then 4, 5, and 6 down the other side. I think it's just such a fun lip palette, and like today, for example, I'm wearing a mix of 2 and 3 on my lips, and then over the top of that, I'm wearing my NYX Butter Gloss in Tiramisu. So I think this is good for somebody who maybe knows they like this collection of lipsticks, or you just feel like you get in a rut of using the same kind of shade all the time. Here, I mean, there are just countless ways you could combine these colors and get a little different twist on those classic shades. And for a more low maintenance lip thing that I've been using a lot also, I've been taking my Benetint and layering it with the Benebalm. There is a set that comes with a larger size of Benetint plus the Benebalm and also the Lolly Balm and Lolly Tint. So that's called Sweet Tintations, and I have a full review on it. But the thing I've really been liking to do, kind of inspired by that kit, is take my Benetint, this is the small size that I've had forever, and just start my day with a layer of that on my lips, and then put some of the Benebalm on top, and then just throughout the day continue adding more of this. So my lips get dry or I just want to add a little extra color, I think this is such a nice balm to put on top. It has a lot more color to it than the Lolly Balm does, I think, and when you do layer it over the tint or this liquid stain, it really shows up nicely. So there's a look at that. This balm has a really nice rosy scent, just like the classic Benetint has, and I just think it's a really easy way to go about it, because when I'm reapplying this, I'm not feeling the need to look in a mirror. You know, I've already got that base color of the stain, and this is just a nice little finishing touch. Has a lot of shine to it as well, which I think is really pretty. And that's not the most, you know, full-on vibrant red lip, but I would say those of you who like a softer, sheer red lip, you would like this kind of combo as well. So that, my friends, is my best in beauty for the month. Just some products that have really stood out to me. Some fun little finds that I wanted to either follow up on or tell you about for the first time. So thank you so much for watching. Also, I've been hearing from a lot of people who say they found my channel for the first time recently, so I'm not not sure what that's all about, but thank you to all the friends who maybe recommended me to you or anything like that. That really means a lot to me. And in case you are interested, I do have another channel that's purely reviews, everything 5 minutes or less, and I try to do those pretty frequently over the course of a week. Like lately I've been getting back into doing 3 or 4 of those a week. That's youtube.com/beautybroadcastx if you want to check out my other channel. But thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Bye.